Imagine waking up in a city full of life, children laughing on their way to school, markets buzzing with people, and families gathering in the evenings. Now imagine that same city shaken by sirens, explosions, and fear. Everything you know, everything you love, is suddenly at risk. This is the story of how war changes lives, economies, and communities. Ali was a small bakery owner who greeted every customer with a smile. His shop provided bread to dozens of families each day, and life, though simple, was full of hope. Then the war began. Bombs destroyed his bakery, roads became unsafe, and daily life ground to a halt. The economy collapsed as businesses closed, prices skyrocketed, and unemployment left families struggling to survive. Ali's loss went far beyond money. It was the loss of stability, dreams, and a future he had worked for. Across the city lived Sarah, a young schoolgirl whose school was bombed. Her neighborhood became unsafe, and her family had no choice but to flee. She joined millions of displaced children, living in refugee camps far from home. Her education was interrupted, her childhood disrupted, and the safety she had once taken for granted vanished. Communities became divided, mistrust grew, and families were torn apart. The social impact of war reached far beyond individual families. Families lost loved ones, communities were scattered, and mental health crises became widespread. People experienced trauma, fear, and anxiety that could last a lifetime. Even after the fighting stopped, the scars remained, affecting generations and slowing down the recovery of the city. Economically, the destruction was staggering. Factories, markets, and roads lay in ruins. The government had to spend billions on weapons and military operations, leaving very little for education, healthcare, and rebuilding infrastructure. Prices of essential goods skyrocketed, making daily life a struggle. Ali's bakery, and countless other small businesses, became symbols of what war had stolen from ordinary people. Yet even in the darkness, glimmers of hope began to appear. Aid organizations and humanitarian groups arrived to help, while governments and communities started rebuilding infrastructure, schools, and hospitals. Slowly, life began to return to the city. Ali reopened his bakery, and Sarah went back to school, showing that recovery is possible even after devastating conflict. This story reminds us that the true cost of war is not just buildings or money, it is measured in human lives, broken families, lost education, and shattered communities. War leaves deep scars, but it also teaches important lessons about the value of peace, compassion, and resilience. War destroys, but peace rebuilds. War divides, but peace unites. By understanding these lessons, we can work toward a safer world where children like Sarah can grow up with security, and people like Ali can rebuild their lives without fear. In the end, peace is the hope that allows humanity to heal, dream, and thrive again.